Welcome, fellas, to the Too Much Game Show, episode number 5. These are the main enemies to your success with dating and women. It's about that time. I'm your gracious game advisor, yours truly, King Dre. And we're going to spit some fire game, man. But first, guys, I need you to like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That's if you're watching on YouTube. I need you to give me a 5-star rating if you are listening on Spotify or Apple. I need you to leave me a review, and I need you to share the game and spread this, so we can spread the game. You know how I say, my slogan, spread game, not negativity. Also, real quick, the complete attraction system is available right now. I made it very affordable for you guys. It's packed with value. I teach you how to be attractive inside and out. I teach you how to be physically attractive so that women are drawn to you. I teach you how to have an attractive, magnetic personality so women just want to be in your world. You understand? I teach you how to text. I go over texting for like 2 hours, breaking down text threads and what to say, what not to say. And I also got a conversation starters pack where I teach you the things that's, the best conversation starters that you can, spark chemistry with. So if you're having trouble coming up with stuff to talk about, then I threw that in there too. So go ahead and get it. The link is in the description. The link is going to be in the bio, wherever you're seeing this at, or the show notes, the complete attraction system. Get it right now. But let's get into the game. So like I say, guys, today we're going to talk about the main enemies to your success with dating and women. And the reason I'm doing this is, because I want to remove the mental barriers and behavioral barriers that's standing in the way between you and the real results that you want with women, because I can give you all the tactics. I can give you all the, tell you what to say, how to say it, teach you how to escalate. But you setting yourself up for failure if you're not, if you don't attack these things, if you got these things in your way, if you got these enemies in your way and you don't destroy these enemies. And no, the enemy is not modern women. No, the enemy isn't the system. The enemy is in the mirror. You understand? And so, not you per se, but the things are inside of you, the things that you've been taught and the things that you grew in your mind to believe. If you don't destroy these, basically your foundation of game is going to be weak. The foundation that you're standing on is pretty much going to be a house of cards. You understand? Your game going to be a house of cards. It's easy to fall over, easy to blow down. You're not going to be as solid. So, that's why I'm doing this episode. Because like I say, the Too Much Game episode is about raising the awareness, gaming you up, instilling the game inside of you so you can go out there and actually get what you want. But in order to do that, you have to deal with these issues. And they issues that I see, they're the most common issues that I see. Me over this 8 years of coaching, I've been coaching guys and doing my thing on YouTube and social media since 8 years or something at this point. These are the things I see the most. And if you handle these, everything else becomes super easy. These are the things that's holding men back the most. These are the things that's causing men to make the most mistakes, do goofy shit, simp, trick, and just make it overall harder. Make it hard to approach women and make it hard to escalate. So once you tackle these, which is not hard, you just address it. You got to address your demons. Once you address these and you tackle these, every and anything else is possible in this game. You understand? So that's what we're doing, and we're going to get straight into it. Now, the first enemy that's in your way, that's standing in your way of you getting the results you want in dating, you getting the love and the sex from women, and you living the dating life and the relationship you like, the relationship life, or having the relationship that you want with women, is dating with your ego, right? And you got to understand, the ego tells you a story. Reality tells you a different story. And men who live in their egos, men who are driven by their egos, they don't operate in reality. You're not operating in reality. You operating on what your ego wants you to believe, because your ego is built to protect you, right? Your ego is the representative to protect the real you. Now, we all have a healthy, we all have ego, and ego is necessary to drive competition, to, create healthy boundaries. But the problem becomes when the ego compromises your greater good. When you live in the ego and you lead with the ego, it compromises your greater good, because everything in life becomes about serving the ego and what the ego needs for survival or to feel better. A lot of the times is in direct contradiction, if that's the word, to what's best for your greater good as a human being. And a lot of the times when you caught up in that ego, you make the wrong decisions. You make bad decisions. You make goofy decisions. You understand? So your ego gonna tell you a lie to keep itself soothed and feeling better. So your ego going to do its best to get you to escape reality, because the ego's job is to feel good. So I'll give you an example. One of my guys that's in my community that I coached, he hit me up. He texted me, because if I coach you, I give you my direct access. Like, you can text me anytime. Like, if you spend money with me, I'm not one of these guys who, they're not accessible. I just think it's weird if, I spend some money with you, a significant amount of money with you, and I can't reach out and access you. So, if you spend a certain amount of money with me, and I'm even going to change it, to be honest, I'm even going to change it to, like, even if you buy a course, you can, have my number. But that's neither here nor there. But so this guy, I'm going to say his name. Shout out to, he going to know who I'm talking about. He texted me the other night, and he hit me up about a situation. He wanted to see what he was doing wrong, or how can he make the situation go in his favor. He had approached the older lady. He's younger. He's about 26, 27. I think, and the lady was 37, 38. He liked chasing them cougars. I keep telling him, but if he like it, I love it. But when he approached the lady, he was flirting and talking to her or whatever, and she gave him the number. But she told him, nah, you too young for me. We can talk, we can be cool, but you too young for me to, mess with. So his ego told him, she gave you the number. She like you. She wants you. She's just playing games with you, right? So this is what his ego told him. And so he hit me up, because once he texted her, he tried to get her to go out with him again. Like, hey, I want to see you, da-da-da-da. And she told him, like, no, I told you that you too young for me. We not doing that. And so he hit me up like, how can I get this to go in my favor? I'm like, it's not going to go in your favor. So he going back and forth with me about, well, why did she give me the number? Why is she, leading me on? And I'm like, bro, she's not leading you on. She told you what it is. She don't see you like that because you too young for her. It's not. You get in way too much resistance for you to continue. But what your ego is telling you is, she likes you. She just playing games. If you push a little harder, if you say the right things, then you can get her to lower her defenses or lower her guard. And now what that's doing is it got you stressing out, wasting your goddamn time. And so ultimately, when you do this enough, you're going to get on the internet and say modern women are the problem. No, your ego is the problem. She told you when you walked up to her, we can be cool, but that's about it. You thinking because she smiled at you and she was nice to you and she gave you her number that she want to give you some ass. No, she probably just wants your attention and somebody to talk to. A woman giving you her number don't mean she won't have a sexual, she's sexually attracted to you. But your ego tells you that because your ego can't handle the fact that somebody don't like you. Your ego can't handle the fact that this person isn't validating you, making you feel better about yourself. But when you're not operating from that, you understand, okay, she's older, I'm younger, she has a preference. I'm not her cup of tea, and that's fine. Let me move on with my life so I could get what I want out here. So I'm not wasting my time and making myself bitter. And if you spend 5 hours back and forth texting this woman trying to convert her, there's millions of women who you don't have to do that and they'll give you some play because they actually like you. So you spending your time on bullshit, and that's why you can't get the results. And it's your ego tricking you to believe that this woman wants something more when she don't. Because you, the authentic version of you, is a weenie. And you can't handle the fact that somebody don't like you. Oh, somebody don't like me. So I'm going to pump my ego up and I'm going to tell myself, oh, she just playing hard to get. Oh, she just playing games. Oh, I just ain't said the right thing yet. Wasting your fucking time. You understand? Wasted time. Wasted energy. Getting bitter. Your ego just negotiating with a terrorist. You pursuing past the point of rejection, basically being a creep at that point and basically being thirsty at that point because your ego is reframing the rejection as a challenge instead of a clear signal. If you lead with your authentic self, like I said, it's okay, she don't like me. Let me move on to somebody that do. But you can always tell when somebody is operating in their ego. And it's the thing, women can tell too. This is why they taking advantage of y'all and using you up for your time and using you up for your attention and using you up for your money. Women know when you leading with your ego, when you're not leading with your authentic self, and they exploit that. They exploit it out of you because you want to be exploited. You understand? But your ego done reframe this rejection as a challenge to overcome. It's like an obstacle. It's not. It's a wall up. She's cool on that. Right? It's a clear signal. And then you get stuck in this loop. You double down. You keep going. You keep going on dates and you know, thinking things are progressive, and it's not. And next thing you know, you chasing a woman all year. Hitting me up talking about how do I convert her? You can't convert her. She don't like you, brother. She don't like you. What, you gonna wear her down and take some here nigga damn coochie? That's what the chicks used to call it back in the day. The here nigga damn. You don't want here nigga damn coochie. That's a liability. That's gonna come back and bite. They call that sexual assault nowadays. Pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and making somebody feel pressured to give in to you. You don't want to be that guy. You understand? I also had another guy. I was texting, and he was basically, he tried to sneak his way into a situation or a relationship or some intimacy with this woman through friendship, like the backdoor strategy, the back road route, which is goofy in itself, but ego makes you do this, right? He finally shot his shot, and she basically told him she'd rather keep it friendship. His ego translated that as, she's just going through stuff right now and blah, 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 blah. And so after she rejected him, she saw him again at, you know, I'm trying to keep it private, but she saw him again at, you know, basically they both frequent the same place often. And so she saw him again there and she smiled at him and she was like, hey, text me. And so his ego told him that means she liked me. That means she want to be romantic with me. Right? That means that there's some hidden interest and she's just playing hard to get. So when I tried to put him on game, like, that's not what that means. She told you that, you know, she want to just stay friends. He go back and forth with me and he's like, nah, I don't think that that's it. I think it's this and I think it's that, because why would she smile at me and why would she, bro, people smile. That's a natural. I smile at people. That don't mean I smile at dudes. I smile at old ladies. I smile at children. Do that mean I want to fuck them? Did that mean I want to be intimate with them? No, she's being nice to you because she genuinely sees you as her fucking friend because you pretended to be her friend so long, jerk. You understand? And this is not to, like, I ain't trying to put you down or be disrespectful, but you pretended to be this woman's friend so long. So in her mind, she genuinely thinks that you guys are fucking friends. Y'all know that women believe that men and women can be friends. They believe that. They not playing with y'all. They don't understand, like, why I don't, because they can be friends with you and not be sexualized and not sexualize you. So they project that. You don't fake this friendship. And you think because she's smiling at you is interest. No, she's smiling at her friend that's been giving her all this attention and boyfriend energy with nothing in return. And this is real male friend. And she'll probably be arguing on podcasts with people like, no, I got a real male friend and da, 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 da. She'll be arguing about you. about how she got a real male friend that's not like everybody else. And then here you got this hidden interest because your ego can't handle the rejection. So you figured out a way that you'll sneak your way in the back. You sneak your way in the back. So then when you get rejected after trying to sneak your way in the back, you arguing with me because you don't believe it. You don't believe what I'm telling you. You think you know more than you do. You clearly don't know shit. You think you know more than you do. You don't know shit, because if you knew, you wouldn't even be texting me right now. And sometimes I have to put dudes in check like that. Like, bro, you don't know shit. Shut up. Because you don't know what the fuck you talking about. I don't have them problems. You texting me. I'm not texting you. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You got to talk to people like that. So like, shut up. You ain't even qualified to argue with me, brother. If she wanted to be fucking you, she'll fuck you. When you came on to her, she would have gave you some play. She's not attracted to you. And she told him, she also asked him, what made you come on to me after all these years or whatever? He took that as more interest because she's inquiring. No, she trying to figure out. And I told him, no, that's not what that means. She's trying to figure out, why are you ruining the fucking friendship that I thought we had? But his ego wouldn't allow him to see it. Then I'm trying to coach him, and his ego is blocking the lesson. It's blocking the game. And he's just wasting his time because his ego wants to feel better. His ego doesn't want to feel bad. It's trying to protect the Winnie in him. His authentic self is a Winnie at this point. You understand what I'm saying? Now, how many of y'all did that same shit? I ain't roasting you or nothing like that, but how many of you did that same shit? A woman told you, let's just be friends. And you continue to pursue and pursue and pursue and pursue. That's your ego. Outside of that, a lot of y'all are even scared to ask for help because your ego tells you you shouldn't get advice, or you shouldn't have to get coaching from another man, or another man shouldn't have to teach you about women. That's your ego, and it's just going to keep you stuck. That's getting in the way of you having the results you want with women. If somebody knows something that you don't know, why don't you go and ask him? Like, ain't nobody gonna look at you like you know what I'm saying? You don't know because that person didn't know. I didn't always know. I may have learned earlier in my life than most people, but I didn't always know. I didn't always know, everything that I know now. So your ego don't want to feel like you got to go get help from somebody else, and it just keep you stuck in a loop. But that's how getting help from people, getting help from qualified people, hitting me up and having me help you. That's how you close the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And the men who close that gap, the men who get the results that need the help, they go get the help. You know how many guys I've helped successfully? I could post content and screenshots all day about the guys who didn't have an ego coming to me, and I'm helping them. Whether they short, whether they fat, whether they bald, whether they skinny, black, African, Nigerian, South African, Chinese, Japanese. Had some guys over there in the Arab Emirates, the United Arab AE, whatever it's called over there, USA, Canada, Mexico. I've helped guys all over this world successfully from all different walks of life, backgrounds, height, weight. It don't matter. The game is the game. They didn't have an ego and they came to me and they got help. So, let your ego keep thinking that, I can figure it out on my own. And really your ego don't even make you believe ain't nothing wrong in the first place. I said all that to say your ego and dating with your ego is standing in the way of you getting the results that you really want in dating. You don't know it. You don't know shit. So shut up and listen. You don't know shit. Because if you did, you wouldn't be coming to me for help. You wouldn't be watching this type of shit. I don't watch dating coach shit because I don't need it. You do. So remove the ego. And it may feel bad at first to, accept the fact that people don't like you or this woman may not like you, and at the end of the day, a lot of the times the rejection don't got nothing to do with you. If you don't date from an egotistical standpoint, you date as a human being, I promise you get way more cooch, you get way more love, you get way more women. I promise you. And you'll get the help you need if you really need it. If you're a man who's tired of women going cold over text, tired of dates that end with a hug and no follow through, Tired of the dry spells that stretch way longer than they should. Tired of fumbling women because you don't know what to say or do next? This is for you. Pay attention. Hell, if you haven't been able to get any traction with women at all and you starting from zero, this is still for you. Seduction Mastery is an 8-week one-on-one coaching program where I teach you how to have consistent access to women you actually want and take full control of your dating life. I'll teach you exactly what to say on dating apps to get women to respond and wanting to meet you in person. I'll teach you how to text, what to say, when to say it, and how to get women to show up to the date and reduce your canceled dates drastically. I'll teach you how to plan the date, lead it, and escalate from the number to the date to taking her home and having sex without overthinking or talking yourself out at every stage. And I'll show you how to be physically appealing, even if you're short or overweight. This is direct one-on-one coaching built around your actual situations and your personality. So you're not going to be somebody who you're not, and you can still get what you want. If you're ready to stop wasting your time and running on a hamster wheel and start having real dates, real sex, and real relationships with women, the link is in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, go click the link in the description. If you're watching on Spotify, Apple, the link is in the show notes. Let's get to it. So your next enemy that's in your way of getting the results you want in dating, whether it's more sex, being more attracted to women, more dates, a healthy relationship, a girlfriend that loves and respects you, is you overvaluing women. Somewhere along the way in the journey of your lifetime, maybe started when you were small, I don't know, you start putting women on a pedestal and overvaluing them. They became your prize and the ultimate prize possession, and you became the one being, basically in an audition. You became the performer and auditioning for women, right? And this didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight. It's conditioning, it's upbringing, media, with whatever arena you was in, because I was in a different world, in a different environment. So the way that I was taught was a little different. I'll get on it in a second, but it didn't happen overnight. And so now you to this point to where when you see women, you look at them as if they are better than you, right? You treat them as if they are better than you and that they have more value than you. And you internalize that, and it manifests itself in the way that you deal with them. It also manifests in your everyday life, and it changes the way that your brain is wired. It changes your psyche, and it gives you anxiety and worry. I had on a coaching call last night, actually, in the coaching community. If you want to join, you can hit me up. In my coaching community, this guy he came in and he asked me, how to stop worrying so much. Right. So I'm like, damn, it's finna get deep. I got to turn into therapy mode. I got to, I don't feel like being no therapist right now. Maybe he need to go see a doctor or something. And so I'm thinking he got some real issues in his life. And I know this guy, the younger guy, just, in college and stuff. And what I know of him, and he ain't got nothing to worry about in my mind. So I'm like, damn, it's some deep stuff. So I'm asking him, what are you worried about? And he's basically saying the right things and doing the right things. And it basically turns out that he's worried about how women view him, and if he's making the right moves with women, and if he's saying the right things with women, and if he's having the right outcomes with women. And I'm like, bro, that ain't no problem. What is that to even worry about? You don't have any issues. You understand? And I'm like, you basically, I told him how to stop worrying as a man. You basically, for anybody that want to know the answer to that question, is you fix your issues. You fix whatever you're worrying about. And if you can't fix it, if it can't be fixed, then you accept it for what it is. You understand? You accept that issue for what it is, and you keep it pushing with your life. You keep it moving. God grant me the serenity. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I got a tattoo right here. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So if you have issues, if you're having things that you're worried about and they can be fixed, fix it. That's what masculine men do. We fix our issues so that there's no worry, right? And if you can't fix it, if it can't be changed, you charge that shit to the game. Right. So, but his problem was with women. And so I got him to see that you basically making women more important than they are. If you fix that, then you wouldn't worry about it. It wouldn't be anything to worry about. He's basically living in the prison of bitches' opinions. And I had to be pretty vulgar to not dehumanize women, but to see who he was giving all of his power to. Some ran through chick in college that can barely even pay her bills. Like, you're letting this woman make your heart race. It basically tricked your body to believe that it's in danger when you in front of her. That if she rejects you, your body believes that something bad is going to happen to you. You've tricked yourself. And I told him that type of conditioning is what leads, it rewires your brain and your central nervous system. And that's what you develop what's called chronic anxiety. And then it becomes a health issue at that point. All because it started because you worried about some chicks, some ain't shit chicks in college that's fucking everybody and sucking dick that ain't worried about you. It just ain't worried about you. You know, living in the presence of a chick's opinions, of another person's opinions. His peace of mind is hostage to their opinions of him. And that's crazy. You value a woman's opinion of you more than you value yourself, more than you value your own opinion. And the rejection feels so bad and it feels so personal because you made their rejection mean something. That's how high you have her up on a pedestal. That's how high you value her. That's how high the value you place on her, that her telling you no, her not giving you the validation, her not giving you what you believe you want from her, makes you feel bad about yourself to the point that it's causing anxiety. That's crazy. That's because you overvalue it. You overvalue her. I want you guys to really, really, really internalize this. Sit with this. Write it down if you have to and read it every day. A woman's rejection of you is not indicative of your self-worth. It's not a verdict of your worth as a person. It's not a verdict or conviction on your value and who you are. Oftentimes, a woman rejecting you has absolutely nothing to do with you. Even if she don't like who you are as a person, that has nothing to do with you. Because she has a right to like what she likes, just like you have a right to like what you like. Most of the times, man, when you get rejected, it's either incompatibility, which is fine. That's okay. But remember, your ego can't take that. Incompatibility is okay. Or it's just a timing thing. Maybe her period on and her iron is low and she ain't got the energy to go on dates. You know what it's like to have low iron? Maybe she got beat up by her boyfriend last night. Maybe her boyfriend is cheating. Maybe she fell out with her dad yesterday. Maybe her dad passed away yesterday. Maybe she lost her dog. Maybe she can barely pay her rent and she's trying to struggle to make it and she don't have the capacity to date or give her body to anybody. Maybe she's married and happy with a family. Maybe she's happily in a relationship with somebody. All these things are happening or can be happening. Or more than likely is the case when you go approach a woman, in public and she rejects you, or you slide in her DMs and she rejects you. Maybe she's busy with school. Maybe she's sick. Maybe she got AIDS. Maybe she has herpes and she don't want to date. Maybe she just not in the mood to date because she focused on other things. Maybe if she got a yeast infection and she's ashamed, or maybe if she feel too fat. Well, it's a million that ain't got nothing to do with you, but you take you overvalue them so goddamn much. You take that as a sign of your worth. It has nothing to do with you. What if she like black guys and you white? What if she don't like Indian guys? What the fuck do that got to do with you? Go find somebody that like Indian guys. Go find somebody that like white guys. Go find somebody that like black guys. They don't have nothing to do with you. You have your well, a lot of y'all don't got preferences. Y'all will stick y'all dick in a hole. But it don't have nothing to do with you. Stop internalizing some funky bitch's rejection, bro. Some bitch who can barely pay her bills, who got 1,000,001 problems, and you internalize it and make you feel negatively about your damn self. That's crazy to me. That's insane to me. Her rejection, again, internalize this. A woman rejecting you is not a verdict of your worth. It's not. Timing or incompatibility, or she just ain't attracted to you, none of which have anything to do with you. So take it for what it is and move on. Another thing about overvaluing women is you think you need her to complete you, and that leads to bad game and bad behavior, approach anxiety. You don't step up and go approach, and so you live a life of getting the short end of the stick, getting the scrap, getting the things that's left over, getting the shit into the stick in life. You don't go approach and step up because the outcome matters so much to you. The outcome of this woman with a million problems, it matters so much to you. You never escalate because you're scared to lose out on this, or you scared of her rejection. So you have to jack off every night. You got to beat your meat every night. You done over pursued and over invested in, and you just scared to take it to the next level. Again, needing somebody to complete you, it leads to bad game. It leads to stuff like I just said. Bad behavior, bad results, simping, giving attention, validation, and energy for free with no reciprocity to women who don't earn it, tricking, spending your money, trying to buy a position in a woman's life, being a clown, being performative, doing things to impress a woman, not because you doing it because you want to do it. Like I told y'all about my guy last week. The girl called him out on it on the day. I'm a freak. I hope I told y'all and y'all have that context. If you don't, if I didn't, let me know in the comments. But I think I told that story. Went on a date with the woman, and I don't want to tell it again if I did so. But if I didn't, whatever, I'll tell it again. I'll give you the short version. Guy went on a date, tried to close with the girl. She basically told him, "You're doing too much performative clown shit. And it sucks because I am a freak. You look good, but I am a freak. I like sex, but you just basically give me con man vibes, and it's turning me off because you're not being authentic." And I asked him, were you being fake and were you being authentic? Did you care about the things that you was talking about and saying? He was like, no, I was just trying to score. And I was like, she called it and she saw it. And she's not wrong for that. She didn't waste your time. You did. But yeah, that's overvaluing women. You start performing and being a clown for them. And they can see straight through that shit. A lot of them, he's lucky enough to have somebody tell him, because he probably wouldn't even believe me. His ego wouldn't lead him to believe me. But she looked in his eyes and told him that. And the crazy part about it is, I know he ain't believe me because I done told him that 1,000 times, don't do that. And it took her to look him in his eyes. He texted me 11 o'clock at night. First of all, I'm about to block you for texting me that late. Second of all, the fuck are you texting me for? And I told you that already. You understand? So overvaluing leads you to jumping through hoops and, tolerating shit tests and games just to stay in the proximity of a woman and all that old goofy shit. Tolerating disrespect, letting women treat you, letting women test you, accepting poor treatment, being around a woman who ain't reciprocating and she exploiting you. That's what overvaluing gets you. It shows up when what's on the inside manifests itself outwardly. Whatever you have inwardly, it's going to manifest itself outwardly. That's why you got to clean your spirit. You got to have that spirit of game in you. You got to have that spirit of masculinity and game. That way it can radiate outward. Y'all got the weenie spirit, and it's radiating outward. The spirit of the weenie. I may do a show called The Spirit of the Weenie. But, yeah, man, whatever's inside is going to manifest outwardly for sure. It's just the way it is. Right now, if you in that spot of overvaluing, it's okay. You can get yourself out of it. You can work yourself out of it. It ain't hard work. You just got to shift the way you see things. But you're in a deficit and you want to work to become balanced. You don't want to be the guy that sees no value in women, because you're going to have problems as well. That's a whole nother set of problems. I was once a guy who didn't see value in women, like y'all guys start at a deficit, right? So you guys overvalue women. And so you're in a deficit to where you got to work your way out of. And that way you can see a healthy valuation, just seeing another human being as value. You don't see women as human beings. You see women as mythical, godly figures. That's where you at right now. But I started out in a different, I started out on the opposite extreme, just based on the environment, what I was listening to as a kid, and just being in the environment. Bitches ain't shit. That's what I was listening to. That's what I was taught. Of course, my mother didn't teach me that. You don't get it twisted. My mom, raised me to be respectful, but the environment and, peers and songs, and when you're an impressionable young kid, a lot of the times that holds more weight than, what you learn in the household. And so, I went through my life undervaluing women. I thought women weren't shit. Bitches ain't shit. And That caused me a lot of problems, but I've worked as I've matured to balance that view to where I do see them as valuable. I do appreciate them. Probably always did, but I was hiding behind the bitches ain't shit thing. And, that's what it was. So that's what it was. And I've learned to have a healthy evaluation of them, to see them as human beings and treat them like human beings. And that has helped me tremendously in my game over these last however many years, just get into that space. I started out on this other end, but I worked my way in the middle. So you got to work your way in the middle. Women are valuable. So when I say overvalue, I don't mean that you devalue them, but they're not, it's just a human being, just like you. Human beings have value. Men have value, women have value. And it's okay to see the value in a person, but when you overvalue something and you put too much stock into something, it leads to all the bad behaviors that I just described. So that's your number one enemy, one of your number one enemies. If you get rid of that, dating will be easier for you. Getting sex and getting relationships, it'll be much easier for you. Now, the last enemy in your way of getting the results you want with women, with being attractive, getting dates, getting sex, getting a relationship, getting a healthy relationship with a woman who loves you, is your lack of leadership, your lack of self-leadership, passivity, right? You're leading a passive life, waiting on the world to give you what you need and want, waiting to give you a handout, like a welfare mama, a welfare mammy in a government cheese line. You know what I'm saying? You got your hand up like a handout, like a welfare mammy, or somebody on welfare, or, somebody who depends on the government to take care of them. That's what you being as a man. Passive men don't get what they want. They get what's left behind. Good things come to those who wait. That's what the saying is, but only things that's left behind by hustlers. Good women don't come to those who wait and scared to approach. Only the scraps left behind by players. You understand? After the players run through them, y'all get the scraps. All you weenies get the scraps, and the problematic women and the women that's giving you headaches and the sex workers and the past hoes and all that. That's what you get, right? Being passive. Now, when I say leadership, I'm talking about self-leadership. It's not about being a leader of other people. It's not everybody's built for that, right? Not everybody has the capacity to lead other people. Not everybody has the desire to lead every people. And just because you're not a leader of men, it don't make you a weenie or it don't make you a beta male. But being passive makes you a weenie. Being passive about your life, that's what makes you a weenie, right? This is about being the ruler of your own destiny. My mom used to tell me that all the time as a kid. You are the ruler of your own destiny. It's you. You're responsible for what's happening in your life. You're the driver of your own car. And if you're not, it's the sad reality that a lot of guys don't understand or realize. If you're not steering the boat of your life, somebody else will. Something will. Either your boss, some woman. You're going to be at the heels of somebody else. You're going to be, in the prisons of somebody, the way that somebody else want to live their life, or what somebody else think of you, and what somebody else think you should be doing. And, you're not being your own man. A lot of y'all be hitting me up asking me questions about, what would you do in this situation? I do whatever I wanted to do. I wouldn't ask nobody. Now, if you need game or you need strategy and stuff, that's different. But a lot of you guys hit me up and you want me to think for you. I can't think for you. I can if I was trying to run a cult, or I was trying to make you follow me. But I don't want to think for you. I want you to be your own man and think for your goddamn self. You understand? And again, it's a difference that asking for help. Hey, I'm having help escalating. How do I escalate? What do I do in this situation? What's the best way? A lot of y'all don't. That's not the. It's like, should I leave or should I stay with this woman? Like, should you or should you not? That's for you to answer. If I tell you to leave, you ain't gonna leave anyway because you don't want to do that. So, but there's a difference between wanting somebody to think for you, and y'all need to sit and figure that out. What's that difference? There's a difference between wanting somebody to think for you and asking people for game or help or, guidance. It's a big difference. I don't mind giving people guidance and giving people game. Right now, I'm giving you guys game and guidance. I'm not thinking for you. I'm not telling you what you should and shouldn't do or who you should and shouldn't date. I'm putting the game out there. Hey, this is what it is. In this door, this is this. In this store, this is that. And you make your own decisions. This is how you be this. This is how you not be this. I'm not up here saying you need to live like this and you're a beta if you don't do this. You're all type of shit. Like, you're a beta if you don't do this. You're this. You're weak if you don't do that. You're this type of man. No. I'm not trying to make you follow me nowhere. I'm trying to spread this game. I'm trying to lead you to the everlasting well of good game. You understand? So that's what I'm trying to do. I can't think for you, man. But I just went on a long tangent. Y'all know how I do. Like I say, this is about self-leadership and being your own man and thinking for yourself. Again, it's different than asking for advice or help or needing guidance. There's nothing wrong with that. But, being passive, even in your thinking, even in the way that you think, you can't think for yourself as a man because that's too hard for you. When you got to think and come up with decisions that, change the trajectory of your life, or, make decisions as a man. Like, a lot of y'all can't even do that. Y'all hit me up or hit somebody else for that. And that again, that manifests itself in the way that you date. It manifests itself. It shows up in your game, and, if you ain't steering the boat, like I said, if you ain't steering your boat, if you ain't thinking for yourself, somebody going to think for you. If you ain't driving the car of your life, or the life of your car, however you want to say it, the car of life, your own car, then somebody else going to drive that motherfucker and you're going to be exploited. Like a OG told me, you in life, bro, you carrying the whip or you carrying the bag. Which one you doing? You a big dog or you a weenie? It's simple. I'm a big dog. I don't know about y'all, but you gotta lead yourself. And when I say lead yourself, just be a man and be responsible for yourself. You getting on the internet crying about modern women, that's not leading yourself. Because if you was leading yourself, you wouldn't be having them problems. You understand? But start with yourself. If you're in a deficit, as far as that goes, start with yourself. Every day you wake up, make your bed, clean your room, organize your room before you go to work. I want to say brush your teeth and put on good clothes and get your hygiene together, but I would have hoped y'all doing that. I would hope that y'all doing that. I don't want to have to tell y'all to do that now. If you do that, a lot of people don't clean their room. They don't organize your shit, organize your bathroom counter, organize your room, make your bed. That should be the first thing you do when you get up. Make your bed, clean your room before you go to work. And if you got to get up, 20 extra minutes to do that, then do it and start doing that every day. That's how you start leading yourself. Take care of your very immediate environment. Take care of yourself in your immediate environment and do that every day. And the more you do that and you get in the groove of doing that, you'll start branching out and start doing it with other places in other arenas regarding your life. But start there. They make you do it in the military. That's when you go to the military, that's what you do. You got to clean your bed, make your bed up. Your personal space got to be intact every morning when you wake up, and every time they come do count. It's the same in prison. I done been to prison. You have to make that motherfucking bed up or you're going to be in big trouble. When you get up, first thing you do is make that motherfucking bed, and it better be tight. It's the same in the prison and in the military. That's why I learned that at. Of course my mom taught me that, but I wasn't trying to hear that shit at young. Like that, I wasn't trying to hear young. Like, bitch, excuse me. My mom going to hear this be like, boy, what? Oh man, I'm tripping, but sorry, mama. No, absolutely not. But in my mind, I'm like, man, anybody trying to hear that shit. But I learned it. When I went to prison, I was like 20, 21 years old. That's when it hit me, like, why she made me do that. But I still do it to this day. And in fact, I don't like making my bed. So what I do is I make my bed. It's already made, and just sleep on top of that with an extra blanket, and I fold that in the morning and just tighten the other shit up. So that's how I sleep. But make your bed up, man. Make it up every morning. Make your bed up every morning. Organize your stuff, and then when you come back home, you have something good. Feel good about your personal space being clean and neat and organized. And again, it'll bleed over into you start branching out into other arenas. You'll do it with other things. You'll do it in your house more. You'll do it with your personal, everywhere else. You see what I'm saying? It's the fact that you leading something and the fact that you're doing something personal to make your life better. That feels good, and it'll motivate you to do it in other areas. And again, when you start internalizing that type of stuff, it'll show up in the way that you date. It'll show up in your game with the ladies. Now, being passive shows up in your life. Like I say, whatever's inside. Y'all notice I say a lot of the same stuff. I say it over and over and over again. It's because to me, those are important points, and I want it to stick. So certain things you're going to hear me tired of saying, but I'm doing that for a reason. And it's not that I forget, and I'm doing this for a reason. That's the tactic that I use to do it with my kids, but not repeating it over and over and over at the same sentence. But, it sticks when you repeat, when people have to hear it over. But like I said, it manifests itself. That passivity in you, that weenie in you, how people say they got that dog in them. You got a dog, but you got a little weenie dog, right? That's in you, little poodle. That manifests itself in, the way that you carry yourself with women and the way that you put your game down. And people are receptive to that. Women are receptive to that. This is why you get the results you get. You see what I'm saying? It manifests itself in your life. You want to approach the woman, but you don't. You don't approach. You're being passive. You small talking this woman. You want to ask her on a date. You want to take things further. You want to get some of that good gushy hole. You want to get that. But instead of, making it happen, you small talking and hoping it come in your lap, and it ain't. You waiting for something to happen. You waiting for the date to happen. You waiting for that's being passive. You want them cheeks. You sitting there, you done magically, I don't know how you got her back to the house, weenie, but you done got her back to the house, right? You don't initiate, you don't escalate. You want it. You just hover around being passive, and it's costing you, bro. It's costing you. They losing interest. They losing respect. They moving on. And then you stay chasing and overinvested. Even outside of dating, people don't respect passive men or women. And I don't mean laid back. I don't mean quiet. I don't mean cool. That's different. See, y'all thinking, they don't confuse that with passive. I'm laid back, I'm quiet, and I'm cool. I know it may seem like because I run my mouth on this shit, and that's because I don't really be talking to nobody else. So I just get up here and flow with the everlasting knowledge of this good game, But I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, back to it. People don't respect, being passive, and that's not the same thing as being cool. Cool is cool. Being laid back is cool. Being low key is cool. I'm all of those things, but the last thing I am is passive. If I see something, I'm going to go get it. If there's an opportunity, I'm going for it. If I need to say something, I'm going to say it. If it need to be said, it's going to be said. If I want to escalate, I'm going to escalate. Passive is a woman. That's what women do. Sit back and lay and hope you come on to them. That's what women do. They passive. You got to go for yours. You got to go get yours. And if you don't stand out. You blend in like every other, what they call them in the normie. Every other weenie. You become forgettable. Nobody remembers your name. You have no legacy. You're nobody. You count for nothing. Just a man a weenie. I'm not even going to say man. You're just a weenie who carried the bag his whole life. You carrying the whip in life, or you carrying the bag. You never ever made a move that was worth remembering from nobody. And so in 60 years, your legacy going to disappear. You'll be nothing. Nobody will ever remember you because you never did nothing. You never chased your dreams. You never made the moves in life that you wanted to make. You got impactful ideas. You never went after them. You never started that family that can continue your legacy and continue your bloodline. You never did that. So nobody will know you. You ain't going to have great grandkids to be able to talk about you and trace their lineage back to you because you're a weenie, you scary, you passive. Nobody going to ever remember your name. So that's that, man. If those are your three enemies, dating with your ego, overvaluing women, and your passivity. And guess what? All three of those things have one thing in common. They're all internal, not external. Women ain't the problem. The game ain't rigged. You your biggest enemy. Get out of your own way. It's people out here having the time of their life. It is. You think they lying? You think I'm up here just for 8 years lying? I have a great relationship. I've had great relationships in my life. You think I'm lying about that? You think I'm sitting here wasting my time lying about that? The other people you see And you think they lying and being fake and faking the funk? No, the game ain't rigged, my nigga. You rigged. Your system is rigged because you rigged it yourself against you. It's your own patterns. You the common denominator, not modern women. Deal with your ego. Put it in check. Don't kill it because you need it. Recalibrate your value system and lead yourself, and the results will follow. I promise you. If that hit home, if you know somebody who could benefit from this message, pass it to them. Share the game so we can spread the game, not negativity. You know, like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you can get this good game fresh off the press. Hit the hype button. Hit that hype button so we can spread this game. If you're listening on Apple, you're listening on Spotify, give me a review. Give me 5 stars. I think on Spotify you can even comment. Drop a comment. If you listen on YouTube, drop a comment. Let people know that we spitting this game over here. We growing. Drop a comment. Bless it. Give back to the game. You sit here, listen to this for an hour, give back to the game. You understand? Also, the complete attraction system is available. I cover attraction, I cover texting, and I cover conversation starters and sparking chemistry. Get it. Take advantage. Stop being passive. Jump on that. And if you need coaching, you want to be, I don't care if you're a virgin, I don't care if you're a weenie. If you want to be in the big dogs, with the big dogs, in 8 weeks, getting sex, going on dates, you know, having women show up, holla at me, get with me. I coach you. I've done it for many, 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 many men. Over the 8 years, many, 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 many men. And there's no smut on my name. Not none. Google it, YouTube it. No smut on my name in this industry. This is what I do. I'm not up here just running my mouth, doing this to cool. I have a coaching business. That's how I feed myself. That's how I feed my legacy and grow my legacy, you know, by spreading game to the world. So I said all that to say, if you need coaching, hit me up. But other than that, man, not just hit me up. Click the link in the description. Same for the complete attraction mastery. Click the link in the description. Click the link in the show notes. It'll be there. Get it. Jump on it. Don't let your ego get in the way. Don't let that weenie inside of you talk you out of getting this good game. You know, don't be passive. Take action. Link is in the description. Link is in the bio. Link is in the show notes. Other than that, it's your gracious, gracious, gracious game advisor, yours truly, King Dre. Till next time.